Have you ever pondered what life was like at the beginning of the first century? A time when the world was a vast and unexplored place, with civilizations scattered across its expanse, each with their own unique cultures and ways of life. This was a period of discovery, of growth, and of immense change, marking a significant turning point in human history. The dawn of the first century saw the rise of several prominent civilizations, each contributing to the rich tapestry of history in their own distinct ways. In the East, the Han Dynasty was in its heyday, shaping the cultural and political landscape of China. Meanwhile, the Roman Empire, in all its grandeur, held sway over the West, its influence extending far and wide. These civilizations weren't just political powerhouses, they were also hubs of cultural and scientific advancements. The Romans, for instance, were famed architects and engineers, their aqueducts and amphitheaters a testament to their ingenuity. Their roads, built to last, facilitated trade and communication, linking the furthest reaches of the empire. In the East, the Han Dynasty made significant strides in technology and science. They were pioneers in papermaking, an invention that revolutionized communication and record-keeping. They were also adept astronomers, their observations and calculations forming the basis of the Chinese lunar calendar. Yet, these civilizations were not isolated. Trade routes like the famed Silk Road connected the East and West, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture. These interactions, these exchanges, they shaped the world as we know it, influencing everything from art and architecture to science and technology. Indeed, the beginning of the first century was a time of remarkable progress and change. It was a time when mankind pushed the boundaries of what was known, ventured into the unknown, and in doing so, laid the foundation for the world we live in today. The beginning of the first century was a time of significant change, setting the stage for the years to come. It was the dawn of an era, a time of discovery and exploration, a time when the seeds of modern civilization were sown. From the wheel to the watermill, technology was rapidly evolving in the first century. But how did this impact society? Well, let's start with the wheel. The wheel wasn't a new invention in the first century, but its application and development during this period were truly remarkable. The wheel was used in a variety of contexts, from transportation to the creation of pottery. It was this versatility that allowed the wheel to become a cornerstone of technological progress. The wheel's use in transportation, in particular, led to the development of roads, bridges, and other infrastructure, enabling trade and communication between distant regions. This connectedness allowed for the exchange of ideas, goods, and even cultures, fostering a sense of community and shared identity among disparate groups. Now let's move on to the watermill. The watermill was a revolutionary technology that harnessed the power of flowing water to grind grain, a task previously done by hand. This invention significantly reduced manual labor, freeing up time for other pursuits and increasing productivity. It also marked a significant step towards automation, which would become a defining feature of later technological advancements. Moreover, these technologies weren't used in isolation. They were part of an interconnected network of advancements that collectively transformed the way people lived. For instance, the wheel's use in transportation facilitated the distribution of grain ground by watermills, contributing to a more efficient and reliable food supply system. These innovations also had profound social impacts. They not only changed the way people worked, but also influenced social structures and hierarchies. For example, the watermill's automation of grain grinding could have led to shifts in labor roles and the emergence of new professions. Similarly, the wheel's use in transportation could have created new opportunities for trade and commerce, potentially leading to the rise of a merchant class. In conclusion, the technological advancements of the first century, including the wheel and the watermill, had far-reaching impacts. They transformed the physical landscape, revolutionized work and trade, and reshaped social structures. These technological advancements played a crucial role in shaping the society of the first century. Science was in its infancy in the first century, yet there were still significant discoveries made. What were they? Let's step back to a time when the Earth was still a mystery, and the stars were more than just twinkling lights in the night sky. This was a time when scientific exploration was just beginning to take shape. One of the most significant scientific discoveries of the first century was the concept of the Earth's curvature. This was a revolutionary idea that challenged the widely held belief of a flat Earth. It was proposed by Greek philosopher and mathematician Claudius Ptolemy. Although the idea of a spherical Earth was mentioned earlier by Pythagoras and later confirmed by Aristotle, it was Ptolemy's work that gave a more detailed explanation of the Earth's roundness. His findings suggested that the Earth was a sphere and that it was at the center of the universe. This geocentric model was accepted for over 1,000 years. In addition to the understanding of our planet's shape, the first century also witnessed the beginnings of astronomy. Ptolemy again played a pivotal role in this discovery. His work, known as the Almagest, documented the positions and motions of stars and planetary paths. This seminal work laid the foundation for celestial navigation and the development of calendars. Ptolemy's work wasn't the only scientific discovery of the first century. The physician Dioscorides wrote a 5-volume book, De Materia Medica, which was a comprehensive guide to medicinal plants. This work was so influential that it remained in use for over 1,500 years. Another significant discovery was the concept of water displacement by the Greek inventor and mathematician, Archimedes. This principle, known as Archimedes' principle, states that the upward, buoyant force exerted on a body immersed in a fluid is equal to the weight of the fluid that the body displaces. It is a fundamental concept in fluid mechanics and has wide-ranging applications. These discoveries laid the foundations for our understanding of the world and the universe. Their impact is still felt today, as they continue to influence the way we perceive and interact with the world around us. Culture is a mirror of society. What does the culture of the first century reflect about the people of that time? As we delve into the cultural nuances of the first century, we find a rich tapestry of human expression, deeply intertwined with the social and political landscapes. This was a time when the Roman Empire was at its zenith, influencing vast regions in terms of language, law, and of course, culture. Art during this period was rife with symbolism, often serving as a visual narrative of religious beliefs and historical events. Sculptures, frescoes, and mosaics were not just decorative elements, but visual chronicles, telling tales of emperors, gods, and everyday life. They were a testament to the craftsmanship of the era and the value placed on artistic expression. In literature, we see the writings of greats like Ovid, Seneca, and Pliny the Elder, whose works have stood the test of time. From the epic poetry of Virgil's Aeneid to the philosophical treatises of Seneca, these writings offer a glimpse into the intellectual pursuits of the first century. They are a testament to the value this society placed on knowledge, wisdom, and the power of the written word. Music, too, played a significant role in the first century culture. While much of the music of this era has been lost to time, what remains suggests a rich tradition of song and performance. Lyres, flutes, and drums would have filled the air with melodies, likely accompanying theatrical performances or providing a soothing backdrop to a banquet. What these cultural aspects reveal is a society that valued creativity, intellectualism, and expression. They tell us that the first century individuals were not just builders of empires and discoverers of new technologies. They were also artists, philosophers, and poets. Through their culture, the people of the first century have left us a rich legacy that continues to influence us today. From the enduring works of literature to the timeless beauty of their art, their cultural contributions serve as a bridge, connecting us to a time long past, yet still very much a part of who we are today. So what legacy did the first century leave us? And why should we care? Indeed, the first century was an era that set the stage for the world as we know it today. Its lasting impact is seen everywhere, and it's safe to say that it has deeply influenced our modern understanding of science, technology, and culture. Let's begin with science. The first century was a time of great discovery and curiosity. It was during this period that the foundations for scientific disciplines like astronomy, mathematics, and medicine were laid. The Greeks, the Romans, the Chinese, and the Indians all contributed to a rich tapestry of scientific knowledge. Their theories, their methods of inquiry, and their thirst for understanding the natural world still inspire scientists today. Next, we have technology. The first century was a time when human ingenuity began to truly take shape. The Romans, for instance, were master engineers. They built roads, aqueducts, and even the first forms of central heating. These early innovations not only transformed the lives of people back then, but also laid the groundwork for much of the infrastructure we take for granted today. Lastly, let's talk about culture. The first century was an era of profound cultural change. It was a time when new ideas about philosophy, religion, and art were being explored and debated. This period gave birth to some of the world's most enduring works of literature, sculpture, and architecture. Even today, our modern sensibilities are shaped by the cultural shifts that took place during this time. So why should we care? Well, understanding the past is crucial to understanding the present. Every scientific theory, every piece of technology, every cultural norm we have today has its roots in the past. The legacy of the first century is a testament to human resilience, ingenuity, and the never-ending quest for knowledge. The first century, a time of change and discovery, has left us a legacy that continues to shape our world today.